Interesting. Oh, sorry. I was just looking over these numbers. See, over the past year I've been doing some very important research, and the time has now come for me to share my findings. Pokémon Sleep has been out for a year now, and a lot of you might be wondering if you should download it. For your children, obviously. No self-respecting adult would ever download this game. It's for 5-year-olds. I downloaded Pokémon Sleep on day 1, and I've been playing it since then, gathering as much information as possible. This is a thing I did professionally, for my job. The game is more robust than just being a sleep timer. It's got a little story, and some simple but fun mechanics. You play as you play as yourself, but you're a character who works with Professor Neroli, and he's this guy who studies how Pokémon sleep. Your job is to find a bunch of sleeping Pokémon and log the different ways that they sleep. Every Monday morning, you're partnered up with a new Snorlax, and you choose a different area to spend your time researching in. And the reason you're always paired up with a Snorlax is because apparently other Pokemon just love sleeping near Snorlax, like he gives off an aura, I guess. You've got to feed this gentleman as many berries as possible so that they get as fat as they can and bring in just the most amount of other Pokemon to come and sleep nearby. The fatter the Snorlax is, the more Pokemon just want to be near him. There are 4 levels of Snorlax fatness, and they're interestingly distributed. There's the basic tier, which has 5 levels. After that, they go to the great tier, which again has 5 levels. Then they go to the ultra tier, 5 more levels. After Ultra Level 5, they hit the Master tier, the largest tier of them all, which has 20 levels. I kind of wish they would have made up some more tiers just to even this out a bit. They've got more types of Pokeball to pull from. The Beast tier, the Dream tier, the Premier tier, the Heavy tier, the Safari tier, the GS tier. They can hype it up for a year and then forget about it. But you don't just have to feed Snorlax berries. You can also feed them a wide variety of delicious meals you make. And each Snorlax has their own preference based on one of 3 different varieties of meal. Salads, curries/stews, and drinks/desserts. These 3 categories, of course, encompass all food. Yes, they do. Don't try to tell me that there's something that doesn't fit neatly into one of these categories, because there isn't. What, a sandwich? That's just an organized salad. Pizza? That's just a stew in a bread bowl. Hot dog? That's a drink. That's what the bun is for. It's a straw. There are no Pokeballs in the game, so your team is just built out of, friends who came to sleep next to Snorlax, but they stick around because you fed them cookies. All Pokemon, without exception, are basically outdoor cats. You don't own them, but if you feed them, they don't really leave. Also, they bring you gifts that they find outside. Each Pokemon only has 1 type. There aren't any dual types in this game. For Pokemon that are normally dual type, they just, pick their favorite one. Normally, Slowpoke is a water and psychic type with a split evolution, so naturally in this game, they gave one of its evolutions the water typing and the other one the psychic typing. Except they didn't do that.
The entire family is water type.
It seems like that would have been a really obvious way to differentiate mechanically between Slowbro and Slowking, but they didn't do that. I don't know why. Sorry. That's very unprofessional of me. Moving on. Each type is only capable of collecting 1 specific kind of berry. They're all hunting in the same area, so I'm not sure why that is. I guess if your Jigglypuff is out and finds an Oran berry, they just, throw it away. That's Squirtle's problem. We're fairy types here. Pecha only. This is also where the area selection comes into play. Each area's Snorlax only likes 3 specific kind of berry. They'll eat any berry you give them, but if you give them one of their favorites, it's worth twice as much to powering them up. The Snorlax that live in Beachland like water, fairy, and flying type berries. In Cave World, they like fire, ground, and rock berries. In the Ice Realm, they like ice, normal, and dark berries. By the lakeside, they like grass, psychic, and fighting type berries. And on the grassy knoll, the preferred berries are random. This leaves the berry preferences for electric, poison, bug, ghost, dragon, and steel all unaccounted for. which suggests that there's probably going to be 2 more areas that they just haven't revealed yet. My guess is it's probably going to be like a haunted castle. That way ghost and dragon kind of makes sense, and I don't know, maybe like bug, and then probably a abandoned power plant for the steel and the electric, and I guess poison makes sense because the poison's like the runoff, like the waste. Sorry, wait, I'm not going to speculate. Speculation is for people who play these games recreationally. We're here for research. Once you go to bed, you click on the little button that tells Snorlax that you're going to go to sleep now. Then you set your phone down on your bed, and it judges your sleep quality. It's got to be right on your bed. It can't be on your nightstand, because then it doesn't pick up on, like, how you're moving. And it does this through a combination of listening to see how much you snore, picking up on if you're moving around too much, and, magic, I think. I really don't know if my phone is that good at judging my sleep quality, so I'm just going to assume magic. Now you're probably thinking, if this thing is listening to me all night, is it collecting information and sharing that with advertisers? I don't know. Probably.
But, like, here's everything they're learning about me.
There are 3 different types of sleep, and depending on how you sleep, different Pokemon appear. Like, if you wake up to find a Bulbasaur, a Caterpie, and an Ekans, you were dozing. If you get a Charmander, a Pikachu, and a Diglett, that means you were snoozing. And if you get a Squirtle, a Magnemite, and a Swablu, that means you had the real deep sleep. You were slumbering. Your Pokemon get the energy to find food by sleeping when you go to sleep, so that means your sleep schedule is directly responsible for their health. They even make the Pokemon look sleepy if you didn't get a full night of rest. So they just shame you into going to bed on time. This has been oddly effective at holding me accountable to go to bed on time, they said while writing this script at 3 a.m. So, Silas, I clicked on this video for an answer. Is this thing good or what? It's fun, yeah. Now, like any other mobile game, it is full of microtransactions. I haven't spent any money on it. I have a personal rule that I don't spend money on microtransactions, and I've still had a good time. I think the last time I actually spent money on a mobile game was for Super Mario Run. And that was because I liked the actual model for their game a lot better, where you could, like, play the first world free, and then you'd pay $10 and you just get the whole game. And, like, that's, like, actually a good setup. $10 for a video game, yes. And it's a one-time payment? That seemed like a fair deal. So I did buy all of Super Mario Run. Oh yeah, Mario time. For research. I also like that this game includes some, like, deep-cut trivia from the Pokedex. Like, the Pokedex entry for Ditto says, "It can transform into anything. When it sleeps, it changes into a stone to avoid being attacked." And sure enough, the most common Ditto sleep style is rock-formed sleep. I like how they have to do all these language gymnastics so that they can fit everything into blank blank sleep. Parental bond sleep. Toppling over sleep. Huggy bone sleep! Huggy bone sleep! It's adorable! And this Pokédex entry for Doduo from Ruby says, "Doduo's 2 heads never sleep at the same time. Its 2 heads take turns sleeping, so one head can always keep watch for enemies while the other one sleeps." And they keep that intact. There's only one sleep style where both heads are asleep at the same time, and it gets its own special classification, as if to say, yeah, it's a little weird. Like, worth mentioning that we found one where they're both asleep. Pokemon doesn't really have, like, a established canon, really. I mean, it's all kind of wibbly wobbly, make it up to whatever fits your favorite type of canon stuff. But little bits like that, I feel really show that the world feels at least somewhat cohesive, and I like that. Wait, I'm sorry, the Pokedex also says that Dodrio's heads are supposed to represent joy, sorrow, and anger. No, they don't. Look at that. That's pissed, and pissed, but they're not in the mood to talk about it right now. I also like that almost every Pokemon's rarest sleep style, like the big one that says you did it, is just them sleeping on top of Snorlax's belly. I think that's really cute. That's really, that's adorable. For the most part, the game does exactly what it says on the tin. It gets you to go to bed on time. Or at least it gets you to think more actively about your bedtime. I find the primary reason that I go to bed late is because I just forget what time it is. I want to get on a good and more reliable sleep schedule, but it starts slipping away from me because I'm just not thinking about the time. And just having something that says, hey, it's late, you should probably go to bed, Gengar needs you, is really helpful to have. Just the cruelest thing is that if you don't get good sleep, the Pokemon don't either. And then they look tired all day, but they're still out there, pushing themselves to their limits for you, all while clearly very tired. You're responsible for their health, and you let them down. If you went to bed on time, then Bayleaf wouldn't be in shambles like she is. She's doing this for you! I know they're just drawings of monsters, but that works on me, okay? I'm not made of stone. I'm like a sleeping ditto, okay? I look tough, but that's just to frighten people away from eating me alive. Deep down, I'm just jelly. I didn't just download the game for research. I actually like it. And I play it for fun. And it has genuinely helped me get on a good sleep schedule. I know I am an adult. I should be responsible enough to not have to have Pikachu tell me when to go to sleep, but I'm not, okay? I guess I'm just not.